I'm Mike.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Jeff.
And this is The Big N. Today on the show, we are going to take a look at Splatoon 2. But first, it's been almost 5 months since the launch of Nintendo Switch. Zelda has come and gone with DLC on the way. Splatfests are peppering the horizons, and many new releases are within reach. With the Switch being in high demand, it seems like a good time to look back at the console and see how it has progressed so far, things we're missing, and looking at the future a bit. So, first question I want to ask you guys. Nintendo had a poll recently looking at where people play it, and apparently most people still play the Switch at home. So I'm just curious, where do you play your Switch? Do you still play mostly at home? Do you take it on the go, like in the commercials? Have you had a rooftop party yet?
I'm sure some people have, just in order to do it. I'm sure if you look on YouTube, you can probably find Switch rooftop party, and people have done it. I'm mostly playing at home. I've taken it to friends' houses, just to show off games. If they don't have a Switch and don't have Splatoon, I'll be like, hey, look, it's Splatoon, that game you liked. Or I don't think I've shown off Sonic Mania, but different, and snipper clips I'll take to people, even if they're not generally into video games. I feel like snipper clips is good for that. It's as cool. I still think it's one of the best show off games for the Switch. So I'll do that. But it's weird, even I took it on a long flight and I actually didn't play it too much.
Really?
I mostly just watched movies.
Oh.
And I don't know if part of that was, I'd already gone through the main campaign of Zelda, so I didn't have that desire. And at the time, I didn't have any other games on it. I feel like if I had maybe something like Shovel Knight that I hadn't played before. I've played Shovel Knight on the 3DS. I have it, everything. But there wasn't really, it wasn't I was worried someone was going to steal it. I mean, it's an airplane. It's not going to happen. That's what stops me from playing it outside, on buses and things like that. Because it's still an in-demand product at the moment. And an expensive one. So I'm afraid I'm going to be robbed if I play it in public. It's a small screen. It's not super small, but for something like Splatoon, it's doable, but it's certainly easier if you have a TV.
Yeah, I'll agree with Splatoon, because I would prefer to play Splatoon 2 on my TV, just because I just prefer to play shooters on TV. It's kind of hard to play when it's still a tiny screen. But I still do play it at home mostly, but interestingly, when I play at home, I play it in handheld mode. I don't play it on my dock, because I have a big problem with the Switch's dock. I was mentioning earlier before the podcast was, I wish the dock had either fans or an air vent to allow air to escape, because we were playing Splatoon earlier, and we were only playing for half an hour, and the Switch is already your brother's Switch is already burning.
Yeah.
By the time you're done, there's no air to escape when you're playing in docked, so I don't like doing it. Last time I played docked, I took my Switch out, I heard crackling noises inside the Switch, so I was like, I'm done playing this thing docked.
Yeah, I mean, I do take it on the go. I mean, you guys made a good point. Depending on what genre it is, that'll make a difference between playing on the big screen or small screen. Because, like I said, I'm surprised I enjoy playing Zelda on the small screen, and take it on the go sometimes. I mean, it's still. I mean, I enjoy its portableness, but yeah, I mean, certain things I prefer playing on television. So it really just depends on the game and what you want to play. I still feel like the Pro Controller is the best. We mentioned a couple of episodes back that I was totally worth the money, and really I haven't played any game with the Joy-Cons. I try to avoid it at all costs, because
when I did do Splatoon in portable mode, I did use the split Joy-Cons, and it was better than I thought it would be.
Okay.
I still prefer the Pro Controller. There's it's perfectly weighted. It is a marvel of technology. But there's something charming about the split Joy-Con for Splatoon, and I sort of prefer it for snipper clips, just because it kind of feels like it's built for it.
Yeah, snipper clips for sure works good. And I mean, so we have had some updates for the Switch. We still don't really have a lot of color choice.
But you have custom color choices in Japan now.
For the Joy-Cons?
Yes, so
Yes.
in Japan they're having I think it's shipping in October, so they're like, put your pre-orders in now. I think they're sold out. But, put your pre-orders in now. You can have whatever colors of Joy-Con you want. So anything that's been released up to now, you have that choice. So that means the red and blue, right and left, yellow, right and left, and then the Splatoon 2
Green.
specific right and the specific left, whichever one is pink and whichever one is green. So you can customize whatever you want. So if you want neon pink and blue, then you can do that. So there's I mean, we're only 5 months in and we have like a fair amount of color choices, which is kind of cool.
I mean, I'm the kind of person to go and buy a special another set of Joy-Cons, special it's $70, I think.
Yeah,
right?
oh no, 100 for in Canadian.
Yeah, 100. So I'll just stick with my red and blue.
If upgraded Joy-Cons come out, then like how you had Wii Motion Plus, like if a Joy-Con comes out with a microphone, I think that would be great. So you wouldn't have to use the cell phone.
Yeah.
But like maybe also like if there's like a Super Nintendo color scheme one with like the buttons either being the two types of purple or the bright Japanese European colors, that would be neat. There's a custom wood grain one that's going around online now.
It's like a Zelda.
It voids the warranty, but it looks really cool.
Oh, okay. And I still find it interesting just thinking at this point that the Virtual Console, like nothing has come out about it. I just think, I mean, even online, of course, they have the big thing about changing online. It's going to be paid in January 2018, but I still find it strange. I guess because Virtual Console is so connected to online that it won't come out before online. But I just find it weird that they haven't announced anything about it.
I'm worried there won't be a Virtual Console. Like, I'm almost worried they're going to launch it and it's just going to be their free program with NES and Super Nintendo. And it's like, that's it. And which would be a horrible mistake because I get maybe they're trying to figure out a platform that will get people excited to buy these things again, because I think that would be like if they tomorrow was like Virtual Console's up, here's Donkey Kong Country, I think people would be like, oh, okay, Donkey Kong Country, and they might sell some, but if they could do something to really excite people and change the Virtual Console system a little bit, I think that would be great. Because right now, as far as classic games, you have Neo Geo games, I think, on there. Or Hudson or some company has a lot of classic arcade games there, but no, dedicated Virtual Console system. And I think one way to do that would be to have the idea of bundles. Because think about like what they were doing with the Super Nintendo Classic, where you have here's 20 games, including Star Fox 2, crazy. So I think one of the smartest thing you could do is saying, here's Earthbound, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would excite people. If that was the Virtual Console option, it's like all 3 Earthbounds, $15. Yeah, people would go insane, and they'd sell like even people who have bought Earthbound 0 or Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound. Having Earthbound 2 or Mother 3, whatever they're going to call it, having all 3 available, people would buy all 3 again because holy crap, Earthbound, especially if it was below a general $30 indie game price. Yeah. It would sell crazy. So like Donkey Kong Country, have 1, 2, 3. Here's all of Donkey Kong Country for $10. That would be crazy. And they could like separate it. So they could say like here's like Kirby's Dream Land, like 3 Star Stacker, or 3 Dream Course and Superstar. So like the Super Nintendo Kirby games, and then have another pack that's like here's the Game Boy games, here's Dreamland 1, 2 Pinball, whatever like that. So you don't have to bundle everything to make it cost inhibitive, but do something to change Virtual Console to make it interesting.
I'm almost kind of worried that Nintendo Switch Online is just going to be the only way you can get Virtual Console. Is if you have to buy the online membership in order to get Virtual Console at all.
Then you don't get to keep them, maybe. They're still not completely clear about that.
And
that's what I'm worried about.
I also would like to see the GameCube games on Virtual Console. There's a lot of people out there. There's a huge appetite, I think, for that. Because there's so many good GameCube games out there, and a lot of them just, they never came back or they never got sequels or anything. So there's lots of gems out there that I think people would buy.
But it still seems like they're committed to only NES and Super Nintendo, but we're upgrading them for online play. But that's not the virtual console. That's a separate service, as they say. But things change.
Yeah. The thing that worries me is that it seems like they completely ignored the GameCube just in general, because Wii U, we had every console except for GameCube available, I believe.
They copyrighted the controller with the other trademarks that they released. So they trademarked images of the Switch, N64, GameCube, two different Super Nintendo icons for some reason. But basically they trademarked all these different, like, really cool looking icons for their different controllers over the years. Not Game Boy and not Virtual Boy. But pretty much all their main consoles, they trademarked really cool graphic images, which I'm hoping means that they're going to commit to keeping those systems alive in some way. Some people are saying it's just going to be for marketing for merchandise, but I'm not sure how many people would want a GameCube graphic tee, GameCube controller graphic tee. I don't think a GameCube Classic Edition is anytime soon.
No.
So I'm hoping these are going to be the symbols used for Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be, terrible if there was no real kind of Virtual Console on the Switch. I think because it's funny, like, these games have come out so many times, yet there are a market for them. People, they always say people buy Mario like 8 times. Despite owning on every system. Yeah, exactly. So
Wii, DS, 3DS, GameCube.
And is there any? I mean, thinking back to when we first bought it, do you have any regrets so far? I mean, you guys just both got Splatoon 2. I know. Jeff, that's a big game for you, for example.
Yeah.
And so, do you have any regrets thinking back? In terms of amount of money you had to spend and.
There was a period where I wasn't playing anything on the Switch. I guess that would have been right before Splatoon 2 came.
Yeah, May to
June. Where I'd already more or less beaten Zelda. Snipperclips isn't really a single player game.
Yeah.
So it was basically just waiting for Splatoon. So there was the different Splatfest test things.
Yeah.
So I played through those. One of them was happening in Japan. So I played, I think, just maybe 30 minutes of both the American and the Japanese test fire. And that was cool. Like, that was being able to use my Switch and feeling good about that. And it was cool because in Japan I had a pocket Wi-Fi, so I could actually play Splatfest on the bus or on the train. Which was really fun. So, and it was, stable internet connection. So it was kind of a neat experience.
Well, better than the internet connection we had today in local.
Well, that's not internet. That's wireless technologies. But in that period, I didn't regret it because I really liked the Switch. Like, I'd still take every opportunity I had to take it around to show Snipperclips to people, which was only a few times. But I still enjoyed having it. But now that I have Zelda, Splatoon, Sonic Mania, and Snipperclips, that feels like a really solid chunk of games. And I think we're at a point this time now that most people can find that really solid series of 4 or 5 games that they could install on their system or have one on the cartridge or on the card and have a very this is all you'll need for a while. Zelda's a super long game. You have things like Mario Kart and ARMS that work in different types of multiplayer situations. Splatoon as well. We're coming up on having Mario in the mix as well. For kids and other people, the Mario Rabbids game. Ukulele's going to be there eventually. So it's getting to be a very versatile system. And something like Sonic, I think, is great for that portable and being on the TV thing, and even Splatoon to a degree. It's neat to have the ability to do this sort of LAN type play like we did today. I really like the system. like I wouldn't say there's regrets at all. Like it's a fun system to own. Like aesthetically, I still think it's really pleasing. You know, versatility, it's really nice. The game launch, the amount of games coming out every month has been solid. Especially as far as quality and variety. Like we're getting racing games, we're getting, you know, sort of arcadey sports games a little bit. Not that I play those, but like it's a consistent stream, which is nice.
And yeah, just like looking to fall, like it's a couple, 3 or 4 big titles going into the Christmas season. Again, complete, you know, 180 to the Wii U, where it was just a desert.
Yeah.
Desert for like an entire year, not even just for the holiday season.
Like I just have Zelda. I think Zelda and Snipper Clips, and I mean Zelda pretty much carried me all the way to August. I played the DLC, and now I'm very satisfied with that. And now I'll have Rabbids in a few weeks, and then pretty much from there it's gonna go from game to game to game to game with a little break until Christmas. And like I agree with Jeff. Like it's still. It's fun. It's neat to show it to different people, just especially people who like maybe don't play games as much, or they skip the Wii U, or
even skip games in between. Like I've shown Zelda to people who haven't played since Ocarina of Time or something, and they're blown away.
Yeah. Zelda's a good.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good conversation starter with people who haven't played games or even played Nintendo for a while. It's like, look what they can make again.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it over to your party, Mike, and just brought arms with me. A bunch of people came over to play it.
Yeah, that you're basically doing a Nintendo type commercial there. Don't go swimming. Play this. Yeah. And the only thing I'm thinking about is, I mean, I was joking before that my Wii U got resurrected as a Netflix player, so I'm still waiting for Switch to get some of these applications. Like, I'd like to have Netflix on the Switch. I think that'd be great.
It'll come.
And it'd be nice. I explained there's no internet on the Switch, which is kind of mind-boggling. There's no browser for certain things, but it'd be nice to have that soon.
I think browsers on consoles is dumb. Like I like the only really benefit of browsers on consoles is accessing illegal streams of things.
Mine was just walkthroughs for games.
Mine just want to connect to Wi-Fi. That's basically what I want.
But phones exist that are functioning through the same Wi-Fi signal theoretically. Yeah. Like, and you know, I have a Note 3, so it doesn't explode. But like it's great because like it's a big enough screen. If I need a walkthrough, I open up this while I'm playing a video game. Not that you need a huge screen for walkthroughs, but if you need something visual, you can open up YouTube and things like that too. So I don't see a purpose for a browser on a console in 2017.
But the only reason I would want one is just in case you can't somehow connect to the Wi-Fi. Like sometimes you need to go through say a hotel. You need to go through the internet browser to access the internet.
But you can do that with the Switch.
Can you?
Yeah, browsers open up. It's just there's no dedicated browser. The Switch has a browser inside it. That's how it accesses Facebook.
Okay.
Because when there are certain things like, would you like to link your account to Facebook to post on your behalf?
Yeah.
You access Facebook, and then if you fiddle around with Facebook enough, you can figure out how to open up the browser, and you can browse things. It's just, and if you needed theoretically for a hotel Wi-Fi, that would pop up as well. I'm not positive, but I haven't heard many people complain that they can't access their internet using hotel Wi-Fi. So I'm assuming there's ways to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it is kind of curious that it's been 6 months and they haven't really said these kind of applications, I guess some kind of basic applications aren't coming yet. So, I mean, I am hoping that we'll get some kind of fall update maybe, or at least I feel like because it's Mario that there should be some kind of massive update before Mario comes, especially like holiday season. Maybe there'll be a bundle with something. So I feel like it'd be a good time for them to say, "Here, buy it now. You didn't have to wait 8 months to get all this basic stuff."
But do you think they're gonna try to cannibalize the Splatoon bundle though? Because the Splatoon bundle is coming out mid-September.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're gonna try to rush another one for a month later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the weird thing is with Splatoon bundles is only at Walmart for whatever reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I guess that's the one thing. If they had like a GameStop exclusive or something for the Mario bundle or something, it would be a interesting sort of counter to that.
I mean, unless they just want to test the waters and see how many people are gonna, get the bundle, and then maybe.
But that was too short a turnaround. Like, they're not gonna analyze and say like, November 1st. Well, the Splatoon bundle sold well. Let's do a Mario one, and they're like, well, we have 3 weeks to produce and design a box. It's not gonna happen. What they could do is do the same sort of thing and do it only in certain markets. But I think, North America is the best market for Christmas type stuff. So.
Hey, maybe we'll do another weird thing where Canada is actually its own market and testing in Canada. With
the Wii Mini.
Yeah.
That was our own fun exclusive there.
No internet, no GameCube, no nothing, just Wii. Want to play a Wii game? Get this.
Canadian exclusive, at least for a year. Then eventually they moved to the States.
Well, the Wii had at least a good library of games that you can get away with that. Actually, even the Wii U, I'd be like, no, that's what, actually the Wii U would have been good because what else?
Wii U Mini.
Wii U Mini, only Wii U games.
Slightly designed like a Switch just to confuse people.
The gamepad is the same size as the Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping this jettison the gamepad. It's a regular controller.
Too many games require it.
No, that's true. Like Star Fox is unplayable. Oh, they'll give
us. When we do a Tokyo Mirage Sessions port, how can you read your phone?
Oh yeah,
I'll get your text messages.
That worked really well with Wii U. But you know what else worked well with Wii U? Splatoon.
Sure did.
It did. One of the, I think we can say, only good things that came out of the Wii U was Splatoon.
Few things, yeah.
One of few. It was hard life for the Wii U. But it was released in 2015. It was a new take on mass shooters. It oozed with creativity, fun, and catchy lines. Stay Fresh was no longer just about produce. Nintendo seemed to really hit the market at the right time with this new IP. So now we have the Switch. We have a fully formed sequel, I hope. So let's dive into Splatoon 2.
Yahar!
Yes. Make lots of secret references in our review.
You can cook, stay off the hook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, that's how we should end it, actually.
Okay.
Don't get cooked, stay off the hook.
Alright, opening thoughts. Jeff, you were a big fan of Splatoon. I think you own 20 Splatoon shirts. Do I have that right?
I own the official Splatfest shirts from the first pre-launch Splatfest they released in Japan exclusively at Tower Records. They're not cheap shirts. I'll tell you that. So I think there are 2 out of 3 shirts available from Tower Records. The other one was kind of just like the Tower Records logo in the Splatoon language or the Inkling language, and I'm like, I don't care about Tower Records enough to buy this one. So I bought the 2 sides, so rock and pop, the shirts there.
So you're a big Splatoon.
Yeah, like I was looking for merchandise for Splatoon all when I was there. I bought like a dozen of the weapon replicas from the first game, which had just come out there. I also bought like a logo of what's Cully and Marie's band name? Drawing a blank here. That's frustrating. Squid Sisters. I think that's all it is. I think it's because Marina and Pearl have a more band name. So I bought like the Squid Sisters logo keychain. I bought a few general Splatoon keychains. Some pins I got. I bought not the CD. I bought the In-Universe CD from an In-Universe band that they released also at Tower Records exclusively.
A lot of Splatoon stuff.
Splatoon is great. Like I have a Splatoon mini poster that is really cool. Like it's the sort of the art style that they use for like the concept art, which is nice. The aesthetics of Splatoon are like I like squids in general. They're among the best ocean creatures in my opinion. So all like the puns, like the little references, like the sea slug having a Cleone or a Cleone in this new game as sort of a pet, which also references the anemone from the first game having a clownfish that's swimming around her. The urchin, the new urchin only having one eye is kind of a neat thing. It references sort of how urchins look. Like urchins don't have eyes in general, but they have parts of their body that sort of reference that. And the original character, you could only see one eye. Just having this one blatantly only have one eye was kind of cool. There's lots of personality in these games, lots of aesthetics, like, you know, little bits of art, like in-game art, that, you know, betrays like a larger world.
So you say that as a player, and someone joined the first one, are you enjoying the second one as much as the first one?
Yes, but it is a little bit frustrating because, you know, with the first one, it was completely new, right? So you're going in completely new. Wow, this game is great. There's so many new things to explore. And then it would constantly be like, you know, 3 weeks in, guess what? Here's a new weapon. And it's like, wow, a new weapon. Here's a new stage. Oh, holy crap, a new stage? Now there's 4 stages? Like, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was a little bit close. And I think because of that, there's a part of me that only recently, like in the last week, has been like sort of frustrated, like, yeah, it's the same 6 stages that I've been playing since launch. Where's more stages? Because by the end of the first game, I forget how many stages exactly, but I feel like there was like 20 stages or something.
There's quite a few,
so, yeah, so you never felt like, you know,
you were playing the same stage.
Yeah, they're playing the same stage. With this one, it feels like every time I'm doing rank modes, it's like Moray Towers, which, you know, is surprisingly for many people one of my favorite stages. But it's... I don't want to play it every time I'm playing a certain mode or this game. And right now I think there are only about 6 stages.
Okay.
Which means if you're playing all 3 of the main sort of chunks of modes, so regular, ranked, and League, I don't play League, but if you were, you would have access to every available stage right now at any given time, which I think is a little bit sad. Like, I'd like to have enough stages where it's like, oh, cool, like, you know, Kelp Dome's in today. Like, I haven't seen that in a few days, like, or, you know, a day if you're playing all day, which you shouldn't. Tell that to the level 37s out there.
So Nathan, what are your sort of opening thoughts about this? You also liked the first game a lot, and what do you think of Splatoon 2?
Yeah, I kind of have the same feel as Jeff. The original game was just so, like, it was new, right? So it had the new fresh feeling when you play a new IP. So moving on to this game, it was kind of more or less the same kind of gameplay. So
I mean, it is a shooter, and I always felt like there's, like, you know, like shooters or like fighters, or even I guess car racers are kind of 3 genres that kind of suffer from, well, the sequel or a new game is the franchise isn't exactly gonna reinvent the wheel or really kind of...
What they changed really well. They just, at launch, wasn't enough. Which is kind of the main complaint of the first game.
Yeah, the first game was also like a little light on content. It took a while for them to build up the amount of stages, the amount of weapons, that kind of thing. So it was, we're what, like a month into the Splatoon 2? Just about. So we're hoping the next thing is a new stage, because I'd like to play something new.
There's data for Kelp Dome, which I think would be
Kelp Dome was great. A lot of fun. Yeah,
because right now the stages are skewing a little bit small.
Yeah.
So having something as huge as Kelp Dome would be fun as just to spice things up a little bit.
Yeah, but it's kind of... I was a little bit sad that they haven't made another new stage, because Kelp Dome was the original game too. So it's kind of how they brought back Moray Towers, and...
So it's a little lightweight now.
Yes.
Port Mackerel, I think.
Yeah, Port Mackerel, right. That's another old stage.
So maybe in, say, 6 months from now, you guys, you know, might have another impression of, you know, obviously...
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And, you know, unlike Nathan, I want more of the older stages. Like, I want Bluefin Depot back. I'm really upset that we don't have that one. That one was a really well designed stage with like little branching sections that was like really, you know, difficult to manage. The different ink management across the different slides. Like Kelp Dome, I just like because it's big.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a fun stage in the main mode because it's so big that it's just like try to get half.
Try and find the enemy.
Yeah, so it could be tough. And it really took advantage of people with like speed enhancing abilities, because if you can zoom around the stage fast. But now that Kraken's gone too, it's a little bit less of a factor. So they did change all like the special.
Yeah, we're talking about this changing the specials. They're all different.
Yeah.
So it really, I mean, again, being a sequel, but they did it sounds like they did adjust kind of everything. So kind of bottom up in a way.
I wouldn't say from the bottom up. They changed things that were broken. They tried to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
appreciated.
There's a lot of specials in the original game that made you just way too overpowered when you use a special. The Kraken, you're basically invincible for 15 seconds, kind of like having a star. In
they eventually changed the Kraken to not be invincible.
Yeah.
Near the end of Splatoon 1's life cycle, I think they changed it that if you splatted enough, you could kill it. But essentially, you were still an invincible thing that could spiral jump and kill everything for
basically
a short
as the
amount
star
of time.
in Mario Bros.
Okay.
It's basically what happened with the Kraken.
Okay.
And there was ones that would shoot a big, huge amount of ink in the center.
Yeah.
And things like that. This one, there's only there's two vaguely returning specials, which is the bomb launcher. So you can launch whatever particular bomb you have. You can launch a bunch of them, and then there's a shield which is similar to the bubble from the last game. So it gives shields to everyone on your team for a short amount of time.
Okay.
It's not as good as the last game, which is good. But, those are the only two returning ones. Every single other one is completely different. Okay. So the special weapons are different. Most of the sub-weapons are different or modified in various ways. There's, returning ones. So there's still, the regular bombs, the suction bombs, things like that. They took out my favorite, but they replaced it with something potentially better, which is my favorite, was the homing bomb thing.
It was the auto bomb now, right?
Yeah, well, no, now it's the curling bomb, which I think is the most similar
My brother loves the curling bomb.
Because
the curling bomb is fun.
The curling bomb, I don't use as a bomb, I use it as a distraction, so...
same.
This is giving away my strategy. Other people use it, it's fine. I put on speed enhancing abilities and ninja squid, so I'm regular speed but invisible, because when you're invisible during swimming it slows you down.
Okay.
But by putting speed enhancing things it speeds you back up.
Okay.
And then I have the curling bomb, so I'll send out curling bombs and then I'll swim in the ink so no one knows which of the paths that I've chosen. And then I can use that, and just general as a transportation thing. At the beginning of the game, throwing out a curling bomb, it gives you a straight path, especially in ranked mode when you're trying to get to the center to obtain the MacGuffin or to get the controller. Yeah, the tower or the space. It gives you, that speed is important in that situation.
Now, in the first game, there was a story mode. We'll say for a single player shooting, a shooter that's single player, it's what you kind of expect, 5 hours or whatever. Yeah. And this one, it's just roughly the same length?
Yeah.
It's a little bit longer?
Yeah, a little bit, I'd say.
Would you guys say, thinking about the story and I guess the universe and I guess the characters, Callie and Marie, the two Squid sisters, would you say this adds more lore to the story or just kind of continues on the first one?
I
think about the story.
This is what just mostly think, because I didn't play much of the stories for the first one.
Honestly, it's a little bit disappointing. The story for the first one, when you got the sunken scroll, so it was basically this cool art that they did, and they give a little story at the bottom, this is how the Inklings evolved. So it's they used to be regular squids, and then over time they got legs, and here's how they grow up. So here's what they're born like. They're born as just squids, and they learn how to grow arms and legs over their years. And here's a picture of some hilariously a skeleton with a Wii U that was Earth was destroyed, the ancient peoples were destroyed or something.
That's hilarious.
They seem to enjoy this strange video game. So there's this cool there's a lot of things like that. Here's a war photo back in when this was an actual war instead of just a kids game, because in this game it's the modes that you're playing in Splatoon are basically games that teenagers play. They cordon off areas of the cities and they can play these games. But it's back in 50 years ago, it was an actual war versus the squids and the octopus. So it was very cool. This game, it feels like they kind of there's a couple of those, but a lot more of them are here's a joke. Look at this joke. Here's this band. And at the beginning when you're unlocking them, there's a few that are kind of... the story in general, so from the backstory, hidden scroll things, to the actual story you're playing through, it's a lot more personal. Even the backstory ones, you're going like, here's a picture of Marina at a concert or something, or here's a story about how Pearl, won a singing competition or something like that. And even the main story, it's mostly about, Zapfish is stolen again. And then it sort of becomes, let's find, Callie. So it's much more personal. It doesn't feel as epic. It doesn't feel as impressive in that way. Single player, I want to say it's my most disappointing thing. I mean, you're not going to top the final boss of the last game. Like, that was an experience unlike any other. They tried their best with the final boss in this game. I still enjoyed it. It was, if you've ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where Bart has the I didn't do it thing, and then there's the thing where they're in the classroom and the teacher and everyone is looking at them, they're like, say the line, Bart, say the line, and he's like, I didn't do it, and everyone cheers. I had that moment in the single player of Splatoon where I'm playing through the game at the last boss, and it's like, yeah, it's okay, but they're not playing the song. And then eventually, at the last minute, they play the song, and I'm like, yeah, they played the song! And it's a remix, and it includes, like, because the storyline of this game is influenced by the final online Splatfest of the last game. They incorporate the Splatfest song into the cool final boss epic music of the first game as well. So it's this kind of, like, musically, it's fantastic. It's just not, gameplay-wise as interesting as the first game's final boss.
Yeah, because I only played a little bit of the story for this game. It's fine for the most part. The only part that annoys me was this trying to use the charger to jump around everywhere was annoying. The charger only stages with
so in the first game you were playing using the gun only, so you had the splatter shot throughout the entire game. If you used the amiibos, you would unlock challenges using the different weapons, so the roller, the charger, etc. This game, it's almost the opposite, where most levels will be Sheldon, who's the horseshoe crab that makes weapons, will have like a drone fly in. It's like, please test out this roller for me. So it's like, it's the roller. So you have to use the roller, and you use the roller through the stage. Like, yeah, you beat it. Now you can play the game with whatever weapon you like.
Until the next stage where you change weapons
again. So then the next weapon, could you try out this charger for me? And then, like, he even kind of gets obnoxious. Like, near the end of the game, it's like, I really need some more data on this weapon. And, like, the E is stretched out like that, too. And it's like, I have to use this weapon.
So what's the amiibos do in this game?
Clothes. So they give you clothing items.
For online, yeah.
And the old series amiibo, so the original 3, I don't know if Callie and Marie also do this, but they also give you music for the music mini game that's incorporated in this game.
I'm pretty sure that'd be Callie and Marie only, I'm sure.
No, the 3 give you songs.
Do they? Because they didn't give me anything because I used them.
You have to reuse them. So how the amiibo in this game work is that you scan them once, and it's like, here's shoes. Yeah. And then you play more games, more matches. You scan it again. It's like, wow, you've been playing more of the game. Good job. Here's a shirt. Yeah. Play more of the game. Wow, you've been playing even more. Here's a hat. You play even more. It's like, wow, you're a great player. Here's a song. So they'll give you a song.
I might do that now.
So that's what the original 3 do. I'm not sure about the Callie and Marie ones.
Okay. Now you guys talked about some of the gameplay changes, like the weapons and stages, and but I think it's the biggest, and single player, but obviously the biggest addition is the Salmon Horde.
Oh, Salmon Run, yeah.
Salmon Run, which we played a bit before we recorded, and I watched you guys play, and it's sort of like, I guess, kind of the Horde mode of the game, waves of enemies, kill them, but you want to talk a bit about what you think of Salmon Run, and as I guess the biggest addition to this game.
People online are idiots. They're awful. I'm stuck screaming help. I'm spamming the help button like, I'm going to fight a steelhead on my own, and then everyone dies, and it's sad. I went consistently up to professional, which I think is the highest.
It's the highest. Yeah. It's highest.
It's the highest. So I'm like running at like 80 or 100% difficulty, and I'm doing this for like 3 matches or so, and doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden, people get dumb, or the weapon loadout is awful, and I go all the way down, like not in one go, but in a few goes, all the way down to the beginning. So like the very easiest thing. So I feel like I'm this, like, you know, war-trained veteran in, like, a kindergarten. And, like, the little babies are, like, running around with, like, you know, water guns. And I'm going around, like, with this giant, like, you know, sword. And it's like, do this, you stupid kids! And I'm trying to, like, direct them, like, using the in-game commands. Mm-hmm. It's super fun. Like, I don't want... It's great. I love it. Sometimes the weapons they divvy out are awful.
Yeah.
Like
having the blaster.
Yeah, blaster's not great for this mode. You basically need a charger to defeat steelheads easily, which are these giant salmons that blow up a big balloon, and you have to kill the balloon before it launches out of their head. That sounds like nonsense without the imagery for it, but if you need a charger, but if you're not good at a charger, you're basically more useless with a charger than with something else. So you basically, like, and I don't like using the charger, but because I like Salmon Run so much, I've become good at using the charger specifically against steelheads. But it's really fun.
So it's one of I find this the best addition to this game is Salmon Run.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't play Turf War that often. That's the main meat of the game, because I think Salmon Run is more fun, and I don't like the competitive nature of ranked, but I like the different variations, and I like that every 2 hours the game changes. A lot of people complain like, I want to be able to play this version of the game whenever I want. Like, no, I like having the choice taken away from me, to be honest, because it gives me variety and makes me excited. Oh, I haven't played this mode in a while. Hooray.
I mean, it's interesting, because I think when the first came out, there was some controversy about like how they switched the stages every like 2 hours over.
It would be 4 hours back then, so they sped it up with this game. So
it's not every 2 hours.
Yeah, so it changes every 2 hours.
I still wish they gave you 3 stages instead of 2 for every 2 hours. Like have 3 stages every 2 hours instead of 2.
We have so few right now. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Because if they did that, you'd end up with doubles, like the same stage twice. And I think they want to separate them for the time being.
Now, one thing my brother has mentioned, and we talked a bit before, was the whole like who you get put together in the ranked matches, and he was like complaining that, I guess again he's lower level, but he was like, why am I getting stacked with all the level 37 and level 40 players, or I don't know what the highest level is, but you know, the super high level players, and it's like, why am I not being grouped with like lower level people? He said it seemed pretty not very I guess generous in terms of trying to put people at the same kind of level. So I wanted you guys to address that a bit.
I mean, the matchmaking tries to pair you up with people at the same level. The only thing is you don't get changed to a different lobby. So if you initially get put into a lobby of like say 10 to 15 levels, but then 20s could come in and then 30s could come in, but you're in the same lobby, so the only way you can do that is for you to leave and find another lobby.
But you can't leave. That's the thing. Once you're in a lobby, you're stuck.
Well, I mean, once you finish a match, you can exit. Yeah.
Because I remember ARMS had the same sort of thing where like you were in a lobby and people leave, and you'll be in the same rotation with the same people unless you like exit completely.
Yeah.
I think part of the problem is the fact that there aren't that many switches out there. I know it sounds weird. It's Splatoon. It's like you didn't find this problem with the first game as much because people were kind of consistently discovering Splatoon over the first 6 months of the game or so.
Yeah.
So like every month in Splatoon 1 you'd find new level 1s or level 2s.
Yeah.
What happened with this game I found is that people seem to be growing in levels pretty much with each other. So like some people aren't as good at the game, so they'll level up slower. But now that we're a month into Splatoon, you're finding, I think, most people are hovering around the sort of 18, level 18 to 25, or 18 to 20 probably, because once you level up around that amount, it becomes more difficult to level up. Like it's a grueling process once you pass like 18 or so.
Okay.
So, a lot of people are stuck around there, but you'll have some like level 35s who have no life apparently, or had the game early due to
or spamming the glitch.
passes. Yeah, if they found the double XP and were spamming that glitch, then maybe. And then you have other people. You have very few people getting the game because most people who wanted the game got it fairly early on. And because there aren't as many Switches out there, a lot of people who were interested in the game already had a Switch because Splatoon's coming, gotta get a Switch. So they already previously had bought a Switch. So I think there's a little bit of that. Another thing that I've noticed they've done in this game is they've not region locked, but they've much more put a focus on putting people together locally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so because I remember in the original Splatoon, I get paired with Japanese players like almost like every match.
Yeah, and this time it's rare that I get paired with Japanese players. Like it'll happen 1 out of every 10 times versus before.
Well, that's too bad because I think you get
almost
more
every time
diversity in playstyles. I'm guessing by different.
The Japanese players are really good.
To give you an idea. I think it's so localized now that, my friend PJ, I ran into him accidentally online.
Wow.
And I confirmed it was him, just by Facebook chat or whatever. So I think they're trying to focus it on, within the same general geographic region. So I'm assuming it's going to be other people in Ontario and, sort of northern United States. And I don't know if that helps with servers. I'm assuming it would. But I think it's a shame, because even during Splatfest, I was mostly playing with North Americans. I kind of wish it did that Mario Kart thing with the little flag that you'd be able to see where you're playing with. I think that would be fun.
Is there any other sort of gameplay changes or additions that you guys feel passionate about in terms of affecting how you feel about this game?
What do you think about dualies? I'm just kind of curious what you think.
So the main problem I have with dualies, like I use them almost exclusively now.
So it's a weapon. I'll just say for people who don't know the game.
So the Splat dualies,
it's the brand new weapon for Splatoon 2.
Yeah, there are 2 new weapon types. It's the dualies and the umbrella, or the brella, I think they call it.
The brella.
But my main problem with the dualies is that I get so used to dodging that when I use a different weapon, I'm frustrated that I can't dodge because, one major strategy in this game is to, when someone is launching back into the game or trying to teleport to someone else's location, if you kill someone who is standing there and someone else is trying to jump in, you wait for them and just fire and instantly kill them. With the dualies, because the dualies have a roll mechanic, it's not easy, but it's possible to spam the roll as you're jumping, and then you still get hit once, but if you have enough defense or their weapon isn't strong enough, you can not get killed instantly, which usually will sometimes, but half the time surprise them, and you can either take them out or escape, which is great. And just dodging in general is super fun. It's not super easy to do, but with people who can't dodge, the worst enemy of a dually is another dually because you're just dodging against each other.
In a circle.
It's basically who runs out of ink first, because whoever runs out of ink first gets splatted. But I love a lot of the different weapons, like especially with Salmon Run where you're forced to use different weapons. I like the change up there, because even though in the main game if I stick with the kind of rapid fire but weak weapons, with Salmon Run it's like, you're using a roller now, it's tough. And it's like, you know what? I like using a roller in Salmon Run. I'm not sure I'd be good at it in the main game. But we're in a situation where rolling isn't really a priority. It's neat.
Yeah, I mean, watching us play Salmon Run, I was surprised, but also I was neat that they're forced to use different weapons because it kind of forces you to constantly kind of change your gameplay style, basically, or what your role is in Salmon Run. And that's cool because it adds so many more layers of replay value to Salmon Run compared to other kind of horde modes and other games, I think.
Yeah, it does. That's what I like best about it. Just gets you to play different things. Because you get stuck in this rut of, you're only using your own personal weapon, but it's Salmon Run, you have to experiment.
And because if you don't use a weapon you're good at in the main road, you lose, or you cause your team to lose often, I find.
Yeah. And also, I think watching guys play Salmon Run, I again kind of brought out like how beautiful the game looks, and like the thing I enjoyed the most was looking at the different enemy designs of the Sandmans, because they're just so creative and out there, and like Jeff was like, oh look, it's the moray eel enemy, which, and steelhead and all these different, and just like really creative designs. And like Nathan was telling me before, that the people who made Splatoon's a brand new team, and like I feel like you can really kind of see the sensibilities in this series. It's just so different, and so even though all Nintendo games are really kind of bright and colorful, this one especially just has so much energy to it. It just pops, like the character designs, and even you were talking a bit, Jeff, with the theme song in the final battle, just like the music too, just really
it's iconic.
pops.
Like they had like hologram concerts in Japan for the Squid Sisters, like, and they
watch on the YouTube
they're
channel.
playing, they're playing all their songs in the game, but there are entire other fictional bands in this game's universe that have their own different songs with different art styles. I don't think the music is quite as strong in this game, but I think it's still good. Like, it's still enjoyable to listen to. There are a few really good songs. I like both the Splatfest songs more than a lot of the regular songs in the game. Sad there isn't a remix of the main theme from the first game.
The first game's theme was awesome.
Yeah. The new theme I'm not as big of a fan of. I'm glad they kept the 1 minute left song. It's a little remix, but it's good.
Yes, I find like visually it's so strong, and kind of. Do you guys see any kind of difference between the graphics of the Wii U versus Switch, or is it
better?
It's better. It's better. It's smoother.
Yeah, like it's not like a huge change, but when you have a sort of cartoony, stylized game like this, it's difficult to comment on the graphical changes. Like, even if in the future they make a PS4 Pro level Splatoon or something, I'd imagine we see the same thing. It's like, yeah, it looks better, but like, it still looks the same, right? So like, there's more polygons, I'm sure, more fractals and geomorphs and whatever. But it's similar.
Yeah, it's about the same. I mean, I think it is 1080, I believe, on the Switch instead of 720 from the Wii U.
Is that
apparently like I heard? So it's interesting. I was watching a video, and the graphics actually they adjust themselves to retain 60 frames per second. I think it might have been Arlo on YouTube, but the game will actually like lower its own resolution to keep the speed going up. So when you're just playing it at the beginning, it'll be 1080. But if there's a lot of stuff going on the screen at the same time, it'll like, surprise, it's 780 or it's like 710 or whatever it is. Like, it'll shrink down the resolution, but then if you get to be clear again, it'll pull it back up. So it has like a dynamic resolution, which is kind of neat.
So it's not really distracting me.
No, not at all.
I never noticed anything. So.
Yeah. And it gets so chaotic when you're in those moments where the resolution would drop that you probably get killed a second later and you're pulled back into 1080p anyways.
And I guess one other thing I should ask is, again, we've talked about how there's no paid online yet. It's going to be in January, so it's free right now. How would you say that are the servers? Do you get disconnected a lot?
About the same as the last game, really.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty good. Like, I will get the occasional disconnects, and sometimes like it'll just be me and someone else on my team against no one else on the enemy team because everyone else disconnects. Wow. So that's always fun.
Like maybe in like if I'm playing for 3 hours, it would happen once. So it's not a regular occurrence. But it'll happen enough that it's like, yeah, this is a thing that happens, and it's not like it's only happened once to me ever. But it's an online game, so it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, even on like I played other shooters before, and it happens in other games too. So it's not like this is an exclusive problem. But but it would be something to work on.
Yeah, but mostly because Nintendo's reputation with online not being the biggest priority, and again the fact that no one's paying for it right now would be there is, and with Nintendo's history of some of their online games being terrible.
If they could upgrade this game to include like voice chat, without using a phone. Then I'd say for sure, like, yeah, it's worth phoning or worth paying for this sort of thing. And I don't even necessarily like voice chat, but I can see people want it, and I can see the value of it in Salmon Run specifically.
Yeah. Now, before we get to final thoughts, just adding on to your comment. So thinking about this game, you guys will like this game. They've talked about how they're going to be supporting it for the next, let's say, year to 2 years.
I think they said year and a half.
Yeah.
I think they said 2 years of Splatfest and 1 year of content update.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So thinking about that, and ignoring kind of, let's say, other games that use that you guys play online, would you pay for this online if you want to keep playing this? Would you be willing to pay whatever it is, $10 or $15 a month, or whatever it is, $20
Probably like $30 here.
a year, whatever it is, to keep playing this online?
I don't think it's $30 a month. It's $30 a year.
Okay.
Yeah, $30 a year, fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd do it.
Especially if I get those crappy NES games like Balloon Fight Online. Oh boy, that's worth the $30 a year right there. It's only like $5 a month or whatever.
Okay. Well, it's just interesting.
$2.50 a month, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I like Splatoon enough that, like, especially, like, I think that with the Splatoon bundle coming in September and the holidays coming, I feel like more people in my circles will obtain Switches, and eventually those people will probably have Splatoon. So, like, I think our mutual friend Jocelyn, she got Splatoon pretty late into the Wii U's life. But it was, I think I only ended up playing with her once, but it was still fun that, like, oh cool, someone new got Splatoon, neat.
Yeah.
And I think I went into Splatoon when she got it, and I hadn't played Splatoon in months, so there were new stages and new weapons, so it was an exciting time for me too.
Oh, okay.
So I'd be excited if more people, like, if Nintendo offers promotions or something, like, buy Splatoon 2 and get, like, half price off of a membership for the online or something, which I think would be genius. Like, I think if they bundled Splatoon with the online service somehow, like, let's say Splatoon is $80 Canadian right now, the online service is $30. Let's say they cut off $10 of the online service and do, like, a bundle that way, so save $10 on the total package and buy Splatoon. I think that would be great.
I guess we'll see. I mean, it's Nintendo, so I had my doubts, but that would be a really good way to incentivize, especially when we think of all the consumers they've never paid before. So you have to somehow say, well, now you can pay for the service. So,
or even like another thing to do is, like, let's say the service launches in January, right? So, paid service online in January. I think it would be interesting if they said, all owners of Splatoon 2 and anyone who purchases Splatoon now gets an extra month free. So it's like, hey, Splatoon owners, guess what? You get a month extra, even though it's launched in January. Why don't you try out this thing for a month? So here's your free NES game, here's whatever. As a thank you for buying this great game, Splatoon 2. They might extend it to ARMS too, but probably not. For buying Splatoon 2, here's an extra month. And then, if you want to buy Splatoon 2 now, you get a month free of the service. So people are like, oh, I better buy Splatoon now because I was gonna buy it, but now I get an extra month of a service that I'd have to pay for. So they sell more Splatoon 2 copies. They get more people, seeing what the full version of their online is gonna look like, and then more people will have Splatoon for the value of playing it.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting, like, just thinking I think Splatoon especially, how it will factor into the online, because I do think it's kind of, you said they kind of...
It's kind of the flagship for the online right now.
Especially if no Smash and Mario Kart 8 being a port, I think, it'd be interesting to see how it fits into, like, the online, and I think...
It's the only game with a special online channel on the Switch app on the phone right now.
Yeah, there's no ARMS. Actually, that's surprised there's no ARMS app. That'd be a really good game to have in there. To be able to track your win-loss.
Smash will have an app. Guaranteed.
Smash will have a whole...
I kind of wonder what other games will be added to that app. I'm really curious.
We'll see. I was gonna say we'll see at E3. No, E3's in the past. We'll see after the next Direct. But when Smash comes, it'll have an app, I'm sure. Mario Galaxy might. Like, it might surprise you. Like, I feel like.
Odyssey, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry. They rhyme. It's dumb. But yeah, Odyssey will have an app. Even if the game isn't online, I feel like an online mode, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to add an app just to give more reason for people to own this app, because it's really weird now that it's not just a Splatoon 2 app, that it has to work through the Nintendo Switch app itself.
So any final thoughts on Splatoon 2? I'll start with Nathan.
That's okay. What I'm saying, it's just it's a fun online game, and it's one of the success stories of the Wii U, and I look forward to seeing what else we can come up with in the future. So basically, I want to see more Splatoon, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like you also want more stuff, like more DLC in general, more stages.
All the new free DLC. I want to see what we get in a few months.
So let's just speed up by 6 months, and then you can have more content.
We'll have more stuff.
Mm-hmm. Jeff?
The idiots in Salmon Run need to revive people. It's really annoying. You have to play a tutorial in Salmon Run in order to play it. Like, it basically says, here's how to kill all the enemies. Please revive people. Go out to work.
Yeah.
But when people are playing it, they're like shooting the things with shields from the front. Like, why won't it die? And it's like, oh, you stupid idiots.
So Jeff needs some better players to play him on Salmon Run.
Yeah, I love this game. I love it a lot. I'm really excited and hopeful that this game expands as a franchise.
Mm-hmm. It's getting an anime.
It's getting an anime in a few months, I think.
No, I think it hasn't started.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's in September, I think.
Okay, so soon, next month, it's getting a little YouTube-style anime, which is... I'm interested to see what's going to be, because I think it's based off of a 4-Koma comic.
It's based off the manga, the original manga.
Yeah. So I'm not sure quite how story-focused that manga is. It's not going to be hugely story-focused, obviously. It's a game about shooting ink at things. But I would love for this game to expand in a franchise. Like, I don't need, Kirby levels of spin-offs or Mario levels. Like, I don't need, Splatoon basketball. But I would love to see more lore expansion. Like, if the anime does it, neat. But I'd love to actually see, like, a full, 3D platformer, maybe. But I'd like to see the single player taken in a different direction. Like, even if it's DLC, like, if they say, we've spent 6 months using the same engine, here's a story mode DLC featuring Pearl and Marina. So Marina, for those who don't know, is an Octarian who is the main antagonist species of this game. I mean, now there's the salmon. They're clearly the antagonists. They don't look squid human or cephalopod human. Like, they're just fish monsters. So they're the real villains. And if you notice, there's no fish good guys. So there's no fish in the town. It's all other, all invertebrates. Yeah. The only fish was a little fish with the anemones that floated around the anemone's head. No other fish, despite being an ocean but land themed game. No other fish. So let's fish enemies. But let's talk about Marina. The fact that she's an Octarian. Let's have a little mini story mode, even if it's a free DLC. A mysterious new island showed up on thing, and it takes you into. I'm Marina, I'm being hunted, or something. I don't know. It would be really cool. And there's an opportunity there that they're probably not going to take.
Well, we'll see how the anime is. I mean,
but even leading up to this game, they had they had an online on their website a story prequel that explained how the Squid Sisters were breaking up and drifting apart. It was this emotional thing where it's Marie took the train to her old town in the countryside, and it's what's going on here? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that there's. I think I was playing it yesterday, and there was a moment where I was just wandering around the main plaza of the game, and I moved the camera up, and I saw an airplane, and I just had this crazy moment where it's this is an entire world. This is a place where at least all of Japan is populated by, squid people and jellyfish and shrimp and all these other ocean creatures, to the point where they have planes. Mm-hmm. There's another city out there with more squid people and more horseshoe crabs and all of these other things. And it's there is this entire world, and you can tell from the developers, they've put effort into this world. Mm-hmm. I want to know more about this. The game is fine. I love the game. As far as, this game, it made me realize like why people call esports. Like I know Splatoon isn't the most respected in the realm of esports, but considering I go to this game like I think other people might go to a sport, it's like, yeah, I'll stretch my Splatoon muscles a little bit. And like it's fun. Like I'm playing like a game with people versus something like Zelda or even Mario. I think if it's more of like an experience. Like it's a personal, like, let's go on an adventure, let's discover new things. With Splatoon, I'm playing a game. There is a goal, I'm playing with other people. It's a fun, goal-based game that I would like to continue playing. But, as I mentioned, in the last couple weeks I have been like, in the last week, it's only been out like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But in the last week I have thought like, okay, I could use a bit more here now.
Yeah. Well, as I said, hopefully, I mean, maybe in 6 months we could return and we have enough content. We can see if there's more than 4 stages, but it's 6.
Yeah. The same goes with ARMS, though. ARMS also needs more time.
It's getting new stuff.
It's getting new stuff slowly.
Yeah.
It was
In
killed
6 months
by Switch.
Yeah.
Switch?
Splatoon, yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of got overshadowed by, but yeah, Splatoon.
I kind of feel bad for ARMS, just like the little brother's like, okay, you had your time.
They're doing their best to support it. Like, more characters are coming, more stages are coming, but I think most people are like, I'm playing Splatoon now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be definitely, I think, another kind of interesting game to review in a couple months and to see where it went. And
if they're confident enough with it, I feel like ARMS 2 will be great.
Arms and legs.
I think that's the best way to end. I really hope it is called Arms and Legs. So.
No, we have to end with Don't Get Cooked, Stay Off the Hook.
Okay. Well, thanks, Jeff, for appearing today. See you for the Splatoon 3 podcast. Or we'll have to do some kind of special review of the anime.
Are you not going to do Sonic Forces in November?
November's our Mario Odyssey
Yeah.
time.
You mean the Sonic Forces time?
Okay, you can have a little 5-minute segment and talk about Sonic Forces. Our main theme, of course, provided by Victor Zoni. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at TheBigNPodcast@gmail.com. If you like what you heard today, please subscribe to our channel. I'm Mike.
I'm Nathan.
And this is The Big N. Stay fresh. Or stay off the hook. Whatever you kids are talking about today.